Yes! This is a battle, after all. You lead the group of Palamarian men-at-arms across the courtyard into a dingy street where you find yourselves confronted by a regiment of Dracarum garrison troops. They have gathered to make a wall of shields behind a pair of small figures, black-robed and cowled, each holding a yellow globe. If you possess the Magna discipline divination and have reached the rank of tutelary or more, yes, I have. Your Magna skill warns you that the robed figures possess magical abilities. The glass globes they are holding contain a volatile mixture of phosphorus and oil. If the globes were to break, the contents would burst into flames immediately on contact with the air. If you have a bow and wish to fire an arrow at one of the globes, oh yes I do. The two diminutive magicians see you and level your bow and realize they are in danger. As you take aim, they get ready to hurl their spheres at the Palamarians. Pick a number on the random number table. Add any bonuses you have. We get to add 6, of course, because of the silver bow. 2 plus 6 is 8. Oh, just barely. You were toying with me, random number generator. Alright, I get to add 2 more points, so I'm at 19 now. Alright, and I gotta get rid of an arrow. Down to 3 arrows. Use a lot of arrows in this book. Your arrow screams towards the magician and shatters the sphere clasped in its claw-like hand. There is a brilliant flash as it explodes, scattering fragments that hiss like a host of fiery snakes among the Dracarum. The second magician drops his sphere, setting off another explosion. The Dracarum scream in pain and terror as the fragments burn everything they touch. Ha ha ha! Take that, evil! The surviving Dracarum scatter into the surrounding alleys, and you are able to advance towards the center of Torgar unopposed. The Palamarians meet up with their regiment, and you continue alone along the dingy thoroughfare. It leads to an open square where a conical tower of iron points accusingly at the sky. Here, the flagstones vibrate with a continuous throbbing that beats like a gigantic pulse somewhere deep in the bowels of the city. The battle has drawn most of the Dracarum away from this square, and you have no difficulty in reaching the tower and entering it via an open archway. A corridor of steel lies beyond empty save for the constant din that assails your ears. Countless passages lead off from the main corridor, all sloping downwards, and many occupied by Dracarum warriors. The passes are poorly lit, and it is easy to avoid your enemies until you reach the vast stairway bathed in a bright orange glow that radiates from the level below. Pick a number from the random number table. If you have completed the lower circle of Solaris, add 3. Okay. 5 plus 3 is 8. Good, that's enough. You are about to descend when a shadow looms into view and a Dracar officer appears at the foot of the stairs. Instantly, you press yourself to the wall and use all your Kai skills to mask your presence. He strides up the stairs, passing within a few feet of you, but miraculously he fails to notice you and continues without stopping. After wiping the sweat from your brow, you continue down the stairs. Beyond the staircase lies a circular parapet which overlooks a huge cadaverous crater. It is filled with the thousands of human slaves toiling with pick and shovel deep in the sulphurous heart of Torgar. Their bodies are filthy and covered with sweat, despite a freezing wind, which howls in the depths like an angry wolf. Dracarum overseers urge them to greater effort, and the crack of their whip is answered by the slaves' anguished cries of pain. Angered by what you have seen, you leave the parapet and enter a dimly lit passage that descends to a door of black steel. A twist of the hand reveals that it is locked. If you have the black key, no. If you have the skeleton key, no. If you possess neither of these special items, okay. You examine the lock and recognize this simple latch mechanism. If you have the Magna Discipline of Nexus, no. If you possess a dagger, no. You have neither this skill nor this weapon. Oh my god! Nargadakara, snarls a voice in the corridor behind. You spin around and see 2 Dracarum warriors armed with loaded crossbows. Slowly you let your hand drift towards your weapon. Oh, well that sucks! I can't die. Let's just say I have a dagger, I guess? Oh wait, I do have it! I have the dagger of Vashna. What am I saying? I have a dagger. The dagger of Vashna. Haha! It takes several minutes to pick the lock using the dagger, and in doing so you snap off the tip of the blade. No, I don't think so. Picking a lock is not going to snap off the tip of the blade forged by Dark Lords. So we're just going to ignore that part. I mean, right? I think that's fair to say that a normal dagger's tip might break, but the dagger of Vashna is nigh indestructible. So the door opens onto a passageway lined with torches. Halfway along the left wall, you see another door, a solid slab of iron broken only by a small barred window. Silently, you approach it and peer through the grill. If you have visited the Danarg in the previous Lone Wolf adventures, yeah, sure. Beyond the door, you see a dank dungeon cell. A prisoner sits cross-legged in the cold stone floor, his head rested on his chest, and the dark skin on his hands and arms covered by tiny scars, and his plaited hair is matted with grime and dried blood. Wearily, he raises his head, and your pulse races as you recognize the face of Lord Pydo, the warrior magician of Desi. Hey! It's Pydo! Yeah, the guy that was kidnapped at the very end of the 8th book. Welcome back, Pydo! Alright, got 23 endurance points now. A key to the cell door hangs on a hook nearby. You grab it and twist it in the lock and kick the heavy slab of metal. It creaks open and Pydo rushes forward to embrace you. Thank the gods you have found me, Lone Wolf, he says, his voice filled with emotion. The Drakarim have said you were dead, that your body lay rotting in the Danarg, but I never once believed their lies. Pydo is overjoyed to hear that the Torgar gate has fallen and the battle is raging in the streets above. When you inform him of your mission, he replies with news that raises your hopes for success. I can help you, Lone Wolf, he says, his warrior pride restored by the thought of avenging his cruel imprisonment. I know where the lore stones are being held. I will take you there. Yay! Stealthily, you follow Pydo through the dungeons of Torgar, using the shadows to avoid being seen. Ragged columns of slaves stumble across the passages, dragging their tortured, half-starved bodies to and from the work pits. They are beaten, cursed, and whipped relentlessly by the Drakarim guards, who seem to delight in their suffering. And you got a picture of that, the poor slaves, and even got a child here being beaten by the Drakarim guards. You emerge from a corridor into the shadows of a circular chamber where a staircase ascends to a pair of huge triangular iron doors guarded by a squad of cracked Drakarim death knights. A tingling sensation electrifies your skin as your senses detect the presence of the lore stone somewhere behind these doors. Suddenly an alarm bell fills the chamber with a deafening clangor. The death knights begin to descend the stairs and your stomach churns with fear that you have been detected. You have the Madagai discipline of divination. I do. The alarm bell signifies that the entrance to the tower is under attack. Adams and his army have reached the center of the city and are now fighting their way down into the dungeons in an attempt to free the slaves. The Death Knights are hurrying to their battle stations and are unaware of your presence in this chamber. Oh, good. The Death Knights tramp past your hiding place and hurry out of the chamber. Pydo breathes a sigh of relief as the sound of the heavy footfalls is quickly lost in the noise of the alarm bell. But only when you are sure that you are alone do you leave your hiding place and approach the triangular doors. You pull a metal bar set into the wall and a huge lead-lined door rumbles open to reveal an incredible sight. Before you stands a domed chamber, its ceiling crisscrossed with gantries of rusted iron. At its center is a circular black pit, around which gathered groups of ghoulish creatures clad in transparent robes and masks. Angled upwards from the floor are slender crystal rods that glow with green fire. They pour forth a constant stream of pencil-thin light, which focuses on the point directly above the center of the pit. Your eyes are drawn to this point, for here you can see the 3 remaining lore stones of Nexitar, the objects of your quest, held suspended in a ball of flickering green flame. And then there's a picture of it. Of course, there's the black pit, the steel game planks up above it, the lore stones being held in the middle, and then people around it. The harsh clang of the alarm bell and the sudden sight of you silhouetted in the doorway has startled the creatures. They slink away from the pit and escape through the archway, leaving you and Pydo alone in the chamber. Cautiously you approach the edge of the pit and look down into the midnight depths. No light penetrates the blackness and no sounds can be heard in this seemingly bottomless abyss. Above you, the lore stones hang suspended in a ball of green flame, beyond reach from the ground, but within a hand's breadth of the gang trees that crisscross above the pit. If you wish to climb the gang tree and attempt to retrieve the lore stone, if you wish to examine the crystal rods. Yeah, sure. Examine the crystal rods. You sense that the crystal rods are generating a powerful charge of negative energy. The lore stones are being bombarded with this energy in the hope that eventually it will destroy them. If you are to retrieve the lore stone safely, you must first shut off this power. However, by doing so, you would remove the means by which they are being kept suspended in the air. And they would fall into the pit. You ponder the problem for several minutes before you hit upon a solution. You notice that there is a spot where the gang tree passes directly over the ball of green flame. If you could crawl to that spot, you would be able to cup your hands below the lore stones. Pydo could then destroy the crystal rods, and the lore stones freed of the energy beams would drop into your hands. It's a bold plan, but you feel confident that it will succeed. The corroded iron gang tree shakes violently as you inch your way nearer to the flaming green ball. Once you are in position, you call to Pydo, and one by one he smashes the crystal rods. As each rod is broken, its beam disappears and the fireball grows weaker. The golden light of the lore stones begins to radiate through the evil green flames. When Pydo has destroyed half the rods, one of them tips and falls into your waiting hands. Immediately, a wave of energy courses through your body, filling you with renewed strength and sharpening your thoughts and perceptions. You shout encouragement to your companion, and he raises his head to reply, but his words are drowned by a harsh and terrible voice. "Vengeance is mine, lone wolf," booms a thunderous voice. Terror strikes deep in your heart when you turn to see the ghastly form of Dark Lord Nag filling the archway through which his minions escaped when you first entered the chamber. A ghastly, rasping laugh echoes from his fly-like head as he raises a black crystal and points it at the gang tree. "The vow I gave at Tau shall be fulfilled. Now I shall destroy you and the lore stones." There is a deafening crack, and a bolt of blue lightning streaks from the stone held in his pincer-like claw. It shears through the rusty metal, and you are peppered with red-hot iron splinters. As the shockwave hits the weakened ball of fire, the two lore stones are sent tumbling into the black abyss. Then, a second bolt of black stone tears the gang tree in two, and with a ghastly laugh, Dark Lord Nag ringing in your ears, you plummet headlong into the icy cold pit. You have fallen into a portal of total darkness, a shadow gate that leads to the twilight world of Dazarn. The wisdom and strength of the lore stone of Lumai is now part of your body and spirit, and the last remaining lore stones are still within your reach, but your descent into the Dazarn heralds the beginning of a deadly supernatural episode of the Magna Kai quest. If you have the courage of a true Kai master, the wonders and horrors of the Twilight Plane await you in Book 11. The penultimate Magna Kai adventure entitled The Prisoners of Time. Alright, so, not the best ending in the world. It would seem that Nyag has won so far. I wonder what happened to Pydo. Probably got imprisoned again, poor guy. He had like 5 minutes of freedom. And, yeah, so this goes directly into Book 11, the second to last book of the Magna Kai series, and we are in quite a pickle. I will see you guys there. Take care.